The monkey garden. The monkey doesn't live there anymore. The monkey moved to Kentucky and took his people with him. I was glad because I couldn't listen anymore to his wild screaming at night, the twangy yakety yak of the people who owned him. The green metal cage, the porcelain tabletop, the family that spoke like guitars. Monkey family table, all gone. And it was then we took over the garden we had been afraid to go into when the monkey screamed and showed its yellow teeth. There were sunflowers as big as flowers on Mars and thick coxswains bleeding the deep red fringe of theater curtains. There were dizzy bees and bow-tied fruit flies turning somersaults and humming in the air. Sweet, sweet peach trees, thorn roses, thistle and pears, weeds like so many squinty-eyed stars, and brush that makes your ankles itch and itch until you wash with soap and water. There were big green apples hard as knees, and everywhere the sleepy smell of rotting wood, damp earth, and dusty hollyhocks, thick and perfumy like the blue-blonde hair of the dead. Yellow spiders ran when we turned rocks over, and pale worms, blind and afraid of light, rolled over in their sleep. Poke a stick in the sandy soil, and a few blue-skinned beetles would appear. An avenue of ants, so many crusty ladybugs. This was a garden, a wonderful thing to look at in the spring. But bit by bit, after the monkey left, the garden began to take over itself. Flowers stopped obeying little bricks that kept them from growing beyond their paths. Weeds mixed in. Dead cars appeared overnight like mushrooms. First one and then another, and then a pale blue pickup with front windshield missing. And before you know it, the monkey garden became filled with sleepy cars. Things had a way of disappearing in the garden, as if the garden ate them, or as if it was an old man memory. I put them away and forgot them. Then he found $1 and a dead mouse between two rocks in the stone wall where the morning glories climbed. And once, when we were playing hide and seek, Eddie Vargas laid his head beneath a hibiscus tree and fell asleep there like Rip Van Winkle, and somebody remembered he was in the game and went back to look for him. This, I suppose, was the reason why we went there. Far away from where our mothers could find us. We and a few old dogs who lived outside the empty cars. We made a clubhouse once on the back of that old blue pickup. And besides, we liked to jump off the roof from one car to another and pretend they were giant mushrooms. Somebody started the lie that the monkey garden had been there before anything. We liked to think the garden could hide things for 1,000 years. There beneath the roots of soggy flowers were the bones of murdered pirates and dinosaurs, the eye of a unicorn turned to coal. This is where I wanted to die, and where I tried one day, but not even the monkey garden would have me. It was the last day I would go there. Who was it that said I was getting too old to play the games? Who was it I didn't listen to? I only remember when the others ran, I wanted to run too, up and down and through the monkey garden as fast as the boys, not like Sally who screamed if her stockings got muddy. I said, "Sally, come on," but she wouldn't. She played by the curb talking to Tito and his friends. "Play with the kids if you want," she said. "I'm staying here." She could be stuck up like that if she wanted to, so I just left. It was her own fault, too. When I got Sally back, I was pretending to be mad. Something about the boys having stolen her keys. "Please give them back to me," she said, punching the nearest one with a soft fist. They were laughing. She was, too. It was a joke I didn't get. I wanted to go back with the other kids who were still jumping on cars, still chasing each other through the garden, but Sally had her own game. One of the boys invented the rules. One of Tito's friends said, "You can't get the keys back until you kiss us," and Sally pretended to be mad at first, but then she said yes. It was that simple. I don't know why, but something inside me wanted to throw a stick. Something wanted to say no when I watched Sally going into the garden with Tito's buddies all grinning. It was just a kiss, that's all. A kiss for each one. "So what?" she said. Only how come I get angry inside? Like something wasn't right. Sally went behind that old blue pickup truck to kiss the boys and get her keys back, and I ran up 3 flights of stairs to where Tito lived. His mother was ironing shirts. She was sprinkling water on them from an empty pop bottle and smoking a cigarette. "Your son and his friends stole Sally's keys, and now they won't give them back unless she kisses them, and right now they're making her kiss them," I said, all out of breath from 3 flights of stairs. "Those kids," she said, not looking up from her ironing. "That's all? What do you want me to do?" she said. "Call the cops?" and kept on ironing. I looked at her a long time, but couldn't think of anything to say, and ran back down the 3 flights to the garden where Sally needed to be saved. I took 3 big sticks and a brick and figured this was enough. But when I got there, Sally said go home. Those boys said leave us alone. I felt stupid with my brick. They all looked at me as if I was the one that was crazy and made me feel ashamed. And then, I don't know why, but I had to run away. I had to hide myself at the other end of the garden, in the jungle part, under a tree that wouldn't mind if I lay down and cried for a long time. I closed my eyes like tight stars so that I wouldn't, but I did. My face hot, everything inside hiccuped. I read somewhere in India there are priests who can will their hearts to stop beating. I wanted to will my blood to stop, my heart to quit its pumping. I wanted to be dead, to turn into the rain. My eyes melt into the ground like 2 black snails. I wished and wished. I closed my eyes and willed it, but when I got up, my dress was green and I had a headache. I looked at my feet in their white socks and ugly round shoes. They seemed far away. They didn't seem to be my feet anymore, and the garden that had been such a good place to play didn't seem mine either. Red clowns. Sally, you lied. It wasn't what you said at all. What he did, where he touched me, I didn't want it, Sally. The way they said it, the way it's supposed to be, all the storybooks and movies, why did you lie to me? I was waiting by the red clowns. I was standing by the tilt-a-whirl where you said. And anyway, I don't like carnivals. I went to be with you because you laugh on the tilt-a-whirl and you throw your head back and laugh, and I hold your change, wave, count back how many times you go by. Those boys that look at you because you're pretty. I like to be with you, Sally, you're my friend. But that big boy, where did he take you? I waited such a long time. I waited by the red clowns, just like you said, but you never came. You never came for me. Sally, Sally, 100 times. Why didn't you hear me when I called? Why didn't you tell them to leave me alone? The one who grabbed me by the arm, he wouldn't let me go. He said, I love you, Spanish girl, I love you, and pressed his sour mouth to mine. Sally, make him stop. I couldn't make them go away. I couldn't do anything but cry. I don't remember. It was dark. I don't remember. Please don't make me tell it all. Why did you leave me all alone? I waited my whole life. You're a liar. They all lied. All the books and magazines, everything that told it wrong. Only his dirty fingernails against my skin. Only his sour smell again. The moon that watched. The tilt-a-whirl. The red clowns laughing their thick-tongued laugh. Then the colors began to whirl. The sky tipped. Their high black gym shoes ran. Sally, you lied. You lied. He wouldn't let me go. He said, I love you. I love you, Spanish girl.